Yeah.
You already know.
Hey, what's up, friends and family? I'm Shannon. I'm here with some very, very special guests, actually, family. So I'm going to wait for a few of you to jump on. If I thought about it, I would have um, shout out, sent a shout out to some of you earlier so that you would be ready to jump on. But I know it takes a little bit of time to jump on. And I want to make sure that whether you're watching this in the recording or you're watching this live, that you have any questions, that you definitely put them in the chat. And if I don't get to them or the guests don't get to them before, we definitely will. Both my guests have a lot of resources. And I just want to say, I love coming to you every Thursday at 5 p.m. This is Radiant Rep. I've named it and everything. So the Radiant stands for what I feel we need to be healthy and whole, the rest, activity awareness, the diet, the introspection, the agua, A for agua, the note taking or journaling, and the training. All of those things need to be in place to be healthy and whole. And today's subject is a very challenging and necessary conversation because we cannot suffer in silence. And suicide right now is a high profile thing. A couple celebrities have recently done it, but we all know people who have lost loved ones due to suicide. And someone watching may know of someone, or it may be themselves, that are struggling right now, God forbid. So I thought it would be very good to have some of my family that have passionate interest in the health and wholeness, including mental health of individuals. So I'm going to introduce them. One is my sister, my god sister, actually, Tracey. Her parents, Frank and Gussie, were my godparents. And so Tracey Hall is on. She's an executive director and the founder of the Daelight Foundation. And she is actually a survivor of a child that died as a result of suicide. And she wants to bring awareness and understanding to the public health issue. She's a retired police officer. Yes, she is a badass. Sorry, mommy. She's a mother, a grandmother, a mentor, a community activist, and a coach. And I'm so proud of her. I love her so much. And she is striving to change the stigma and the narrative around mental health. Particularly, her passion is in the Black community, Black and Brown community. And we both, my sister and I, our family, Tracey, all her life, we all lived in Camden, inner city. And I worked in Philadelphia, so I have lived in the inner city, and it is Black History Month. So welcome, Tracey.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad you're here. So real quick, let me just introduce our other guest, my baby sister. She thinks she's older than me sometimes, but she's not, okay? But she is so fierce, and I'm so proud of her. She's Miss Black, a former Miss Black USA, and she's very involved in a initiative, and I want her to talk a little bit about it, and she'll share about it. But Dawn has been, she just has so many different accolades. I don't even know where to start. She's an international bestseller. She is a producer, an author. She's a managing partner with Big City Foods, LLC. She's an executive VP. I'm just going to tell you just a few because I could go on and on to the break of dawn. She's a certified health communicator, and she's she went to Morgan. She had a full basketball scholarship to Morgan University. So my girls were influenced by her playing hoop, and they are also college basketball players, or were. She founded her own mini market and became a legitimate inner city entrepreneur. What else? Real quick. She served as a producer of CNN 1010 program Going Global. She took me over to Africa one time. She mentors all of these pageant girls, like with Miss Black USA. And one year, I'm forgetting what year it was. I think it was 2005 or 6. And we went over there. We took like girls from 34 states and did the pageant over there. And she produced it in Gambia, Africa. It was amazing. She's also produced some shows in Las Vegas and Washington, D.C. And that's where her focus in terms of mentorship and suicide prevention is. Okay. So I know I said a lot. And Lena, I see you. So Tracey, I'm going to start with you because Lena, I'm very sorry for your loss. Is saying in the chat that she lost her cousin to suicide 2 years ago. And she said it was so devastating for his adult children and their entire family. So Lena, at first, I just want to give you my love, prayer, and condolences, because I don't know why a lot of times we become insensitive after, a little while. Okay, the funeral's over and okay, but it's an ongoing,
Absolutely.
situation. Now, somehow I removed you. Let me get Tracey back on here. There she is. Okay.
So,
yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Marty. I appreciate you. Marty said, good work, ladies. So, Tracey, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and about work that you're doing through your organization?
okay, thank you again for having me, and I appreciate this so much. Any opportunity I can get to be on a platform to just spread awareness and spread understanding and a little bit of knowledge about suicide awareness and prevention, along with mental health, I'm willing to always take the opportunity. So again, thank you. My organization was founded in memory of my son, Amadeus Desmond Hall, who died by suicide on June 1st, 2012. My family was devastated, my entire family. Not only that, my son was an avid football player and an athlete and a mentor to younger athletes. So it devastated our community because no one could understand how this kid, who was academically astute, athletically talented, a college graduate, a wholesome Black man, could ever do something like this. And he was very strong. He was 6'5", 260 pounds. He was really buck strong. So in the eyes of our community, how could a guy that's so strong succumb to this type of thing? So I decided I wanted to do something, and I just wanted to bring awareness and knowledge so no other family will feel the way we felt. It's a shame because suicide doesn't stop your hurt or pain. It just passes it on to others, and it lasts for a lifetime. And Lena, my heart goes out to your family, but I can honestly say it really doesn't get easier. It gets tolerable with understanding. And people used to tell me all the time, because we come from a religious-based family, that suicide is a sin, but my God is a forgiving God. And apparently my child did not know or how to cope with what was going on, because we don't equip our Black and brown people with the coping skills and techniques to navigate through depression and life stressors. So my organization, that's what we do. We're one of 3 organizations in the state of New Jersey that's I'm qualified to instruct teen mental health first aid. And what we do is we instruct teenagers on how to be able to recognize and to first aid their peers. So a lot of times with young people, they don't come to their adults and talk. They go to their friends. And if we don't give their friends the tools to help their friends and help their peers, it'll never get to an adult. So our organization, again, by the National Council of Well-Being, was selected throughout the state of New Jersey for the next 3 years, and hopefully, God willing, and further on, to train young people to understand and recognize mental health first aid and how to help their friends.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. What my organization just tries to do is advocate in our community to get funding, because there's a big disparity for mental health treatment in the Black and brown community. Because a lot of times a good therapist is $135 an hour. Medicaid doesn't cover that. How do our people get help? So
Right.
what my organization does is provides resources. Like
Okay.
we deal with Perform Care, which comes out to people's homes. We deal
Mhm.
with I have counselors who are willing to take some clients. We work in partnership with Center for Family Services. We work in partnership with 2 mentoring programs in the city, because a lot of times some of our young people need supports and mentorship.
Right.
Having mentors do help. So what we've done is we've just tried to, I go around and I advocate and I educate and I spread the word, because ultimately what we want to do is change the stigma of mental health and let people know it's okay not to be okay. But it's
Right.
not okay to stay in that place, and you're loved, and there's people out here that will help you get through and navigate through those tough times.
Exactly. So Tracey, will you tell everyone, like, um when you say you reach out in the community, so what is the area, what is the demographic in the location in which your organization reaches out in?
Currently we are based out of Camden, New Jersey, and of
Hmm.
course we're a small um, compact city. So we're 5 square miles, but we have about 100,000 people that live here. And
Right.
a lot of our people are live under the poverty level. So currently we serve our city, but I also serve whoever calls, because I have churches, I have other organizations that will give people my number and name, and
Right.
we partnership with throughout the county. So throughout the county, the Camden County,
Camden
which is in
County.
New Jersey
Hmm.
as well, we have serviced some parents who are in dire need.
Right.
Sometimes we have parents that just don't know how to get their child help. So they'll call me, I'll talk them through it, I'll walk them through the steps, and I'll line them up with resources and numbers and hotlines to call for their children, or even for their adult children, to try to get them services.
So what
So
would you say for an individual who is not in the Camden County area? Like, you know, people, we have friends and family, because this is our all,
right.
you know, our network of friends and family are all over the country. So, and some people are my friends that aren't even in the country. So how would you recommend that they go about getting help?
So in I don't okay, so if there's a crisis situation and it's immediate and it needs assistance right away, there's always the national hotline, which is 1-800-273-8255.
Say it
That's
again.
1-800
1
273
800. Say it again.
1-800
Mm,
273
273
82 8255.
855. Okay, so I'm putting that in the chat. Um,
And that's the national um suicide prevention hotline. You always get a human being and a person on the other end, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to walk you through any type of mental health crisis.
okay, I got a
And
question for you. I got a question for
sure,
you. Um,
sure.
say that say there's a family, they're not sure. They know, you know, something's going on with the kid. Um, what's the number one, two, or three questions? What's the most important questions that you recommend that another, it could be a parent, but it could be a peer, ask that individual? How should they approach them? Because a lot of times
The first
we don't say nothing, you know, we're
right,
scared to say
right,
something.
right. And the first thing you need to ask someone is, how are you feeling? How are
Okay.
you feeling? It's
Just
a
how you
simple
feeling.
question. How
Yeah.
are you feeling? And if they tell you, well, today's not a good day, well, what makes this day not, and have you, what makes this day not a good day? And had you had this feeling before? The
Mhm.
crazy part about it is a lot of people think that if you use the word suicide in a conversation, that you're going to convince somebody to commit the act. That's not the case. You don't know unless you ask. So you need
Right.
to ask someone, are you having thoughts of hurting yourself? Have you contemplated any thoughts of hurting yourself? Do you feel like you want to hurt yourself? Have you thought about committing any harm to yourself? If you ask, 9 times out of 10, because a person wants to be asked that's having troubles, they'll
Wow.
answer yes or no.
Wow.
And see, people are scared to ask that question, because they even in training, they even say, people think if you say, are you going to harm yourself? that you're going to make the person think that go lean towards harming themselves. But that's not the case. You're just
Okay.
asking a question. And sometimes people want the question asked so they can give you an
Wow.
answer. Yes, I do. So you can get them immediate help.
Wow. Thank you. And one other question, and then I want to ask Dawn a few questions. So we were chatting a little bit earlier, you and I, and I was chatting with Dawn on a separate conversation, and I even said to Dawn, Dawn, I think that all these high profile cases, you know, with individuals that have money, they have means. Oh, I lost her. So she might be back. So I'll save that question and move on to Sissy, aka Sissy. So,
Hi.
Dawn, thank you so much again for being here. Will you just share where your program and what it means, the Queen Circle? Talk about the Queen Circle and the quote, "Behind every smile, there is a story."
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me on your show. I think what you're doing in wellness, mind, body, and soul is so necessary and so needed, especially in the African American community. And not only am I your sister, I'm your friend, and you are my best friend
Yep.
who constantly checks in. And so I think that's so significant, even in conjunction with what Tracey just shared with asking the question, are you okay? It's a term that everyone affectionately uses, especially now, is check in on your strong friend. And because you're one of those dynamic human beings who've always been like this, checking in on people, checking in on wellness, whether you knew or knowingly or not knowing. I think, it's a very strong characteristic to have in your show is so necessary. As it relates to the Queen Circle, being a former Miss Black USA, an advocate for wellness and health, I personally, have experienced bouts of depression, going in and out of the expectation of what people have of me. I've always been that on the outside, that person was the high school basketball or sports person, the student government person, going away to college, the basketball scholar, and then eventually getting into modeling and going on to not only win the national title, but also entering into a production side of it. Always that mentor person. I mean, I think it's just been my gift, my mission. And we sometimes forget how to take care of ourselves as opposed to being, engaged in helping others and being that person. So the Queen Circle was developed pretty much a long time ago when
Really?
I started this journey as not only Miss Black USA, but working in sports, working, as a teen pageant girl, pageant person that went against the odds of what anybody would expect a pageant person to be. I never really took the stilettos serious. However, I knew I had to learn how to walk in them in order to get other people's attention. When I won the title of Miss Black USA, my mission was to gain that platform so I can speak out in support of platforms like this when it comes to mental health, depression, and now suicide, since we recently lost one of our sorority sisters, our members in the pageant community, who just took her life on suicide. And what immediately I thought about, in terms of even what the media says, how strong she was, how talented she was, all of those components come on across on any pageant person, that behind every smile there is a story. That's
Right.
why some of us enter into these entities, into these programs, in order to develop a platform that will enable us to share what is behind our smile. And so the Queen Circle now is a platform because right now in the pageant community, and not only just African American women, not exclusively, but because it is Black History Month, because I am a Black woman who deals with Black women wellness issues, I thought this would be a perfect time. Actually, I didn't even think of it, Shannon, to be honest with you. I just really think that it's a part of the calling on my life.
Right.
I tussled and tossed and turned with feeling guilty about my own insecurities, my own depressions, and what I was going through. And
Well,
then a
talk
friend of
about that a little bit, and
well,
the relationship between that and your desire to help other women.
yeah, ironically, last week or earlier this week, last week I had a photo shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's for one of my colleagues who is amazing, Cherie Burns. She's an amazing stylist, hairstylist. She does all of those things, and she has a dynamic team. Well, she brought me in to do this photo shoot, and a part of the photo shoot entailed only images from the waist up.
Okay.
So when the photo shoot, it wasn't just me, it was some other young ladies who are professional models. And when we got into the full body thing, nobody really knew that I had been struggling with self-image in terms of the weight that I've gained as a result of menopause, as a result of just aging, as a result of going through fibroids and all of those things.
Right.
I have been in a pretty dark space, although, I enable myself to push through with work and all the responsibilities that I have. And I have the pressure of making sure that I'm strong, for my staff of young people that I mentor and work with every single day. But I
Right.
had a meltdown because I saw the images and some of them were full body. And I had a meltdown. I just broke down and just crying because I hadn't professionally seen myself behind the lens or in front of the lens in quite some time, especially since COVID and, the weight
Right.
gain and menopause and all that crazy stuff. And I had a meltdown. And I didn't know how to cope with that because I did it in front of people that know me, that see me almost every day. And I was embarrassed. And so it came out. My insecurities was revealed. And
Right.
I had to look at what I've been going through for the last, I don't know, maybe year or so. And
Mm-hmm.
then the very next day, this happened when Miss USA committed suicide, jumped off a roof. And I looked at myself and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I tripping? It's a blessing to be alive. God has got me through and us through so many things. I was like, I am tripping. And then one of my PR associates, she does a lot of PR work and marketing for my personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
She's a celebrity marketing person. Her name is Ali. She has a marketing firm. I will, definitely post all of her information in the chat if you need a good marketing person. She is
Okay.
amazing. She's dynamic. No pun
Mm-hmm.
intended. But moving forward, she was compelled to write her story on how she attempted to commit suicide based off of Miss USA's death. And I never knew she's one of the most strongest
Wait,
people
hold
that,
on, hold on. So this person wrote after the very public suicide last week
yes,
that
that
after
night
that happened, she too, wow,
publicly came out
that
with
she
her,
was going to was
that
she was
she made an
influenced
attempt.
by the other suicide? Okay. All
She
right.
made an
Okay.
attempt
Wow, wow,
to
wow.
to
This
kill
is why
herself.
this is why I thought we should do this. This is why we need to
Right.
talk about it.
Absolutely.
So we
And
don't have a whole lot of time, Sissy,
right.
but I want you to get to the crust of it and then share how
Okay.
the girls that are, in this, they want to be a part of this media world. And in some ways, they want to be, even if it's through their TikTok or,
Right.
if everybody's on some level, not everybody, but a lot of people on some level are having these image things. And so how are you going to help these little girls based on that and on into people that are modeling and in pageants and all that stuff?
And even for the everyday mother, sister,
Exactly.
cousin.
Exactly. All of us.
Yes, all of us. All
Totally.
of us. So the Queen Circle is a platform, and it will be a centralized place. It starts with the queens because these are the young women who has these titles and these initiatives that maybe their outreach, they can reach more women and encourage them to come out and talk about these feelings that they may be having.
Okay.
Behind every smile there is a story, is a movement, and this is the launch. Your show is the launch of this wellness initiative to get more people out. Yes.
Look at God.
Yes. And so moving forward, there will be information that we will promote on your page. I want all the queens to come out, title holders, national title holders. I invite you and I challenge you to come first. You're Miss USA, Miss Black USA, Miss Black America, Miss America. All of these platforms, I want these queens to come and bring themselves out, and I challenge everyone to come so that we can address this issue and reach not only people across the nation, but around the world.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate you, Dawn. You have mentored so many, young people through the restaurants, through the pageant world. And I'm so proud of the work that you've done and how you continue to pour into the lives of young people. And I appreciate you guys. I know how busy you are. But I know when I call you, if there's anything you can do, Tracey too, that you would be there. And I just thank you both. Tracey Hall, she kind of had to jump off, the executive director and founder of Daelight Foundation. And here, my sissy, former Miss Black USA and everything, phenomenal lady, for the work that you are doing. All right.
Thank you very much. We look forward to this continuation of this dialogue. Mental health is key, but our goal is to reach as many young women, young girls as we possibly can. I'm so excited about the opportunity and this calling on my life today.
Thank you. Thank you again. And you, my friends and family, thank you so much. Listen, I love you. There is nothing you can do about it. You have greatness inside of you. And being healthy and whole is not just about this physical outside. It starts from the inside out. We have to love ourselves better and love one another better. It's not, we are one body, my friends. So, thank you. If you have any questions, make sure that you put them in the chat, and I'll make sure you have the information so that you can reach out to both Dawn and Tracey. Love you. Nothing you can do about it. Bye.